Lord Chaitanya, who is the king of all the universes, and the dust of whose feet everyone joyfully placed on their heads, danced by the Ganga's bank. His ecstatic symptoms were wonderful and unprecedented. A stream of tears flowed from his eyes. Everyone heard his loud roars. Laughing and laughing, with upraised arms, he called out, "Hari, Hari!" Lord Chaitanya's fair form was more handsome than Kamadev. His garments were splendid. A garland of flowers decorated his charming curly hair. He looked like Kamadev. His graceful arms were anointed with sandal paste. A garland of forest flowers swung to and fro on his neck. He swayed to and fro, and then he fell down. Overcome with love, he could not stand still. Sachi's son was filled with bliss. His eyebrows were Kamadev's quivers. His forehead was decorated with sandal paste dots. His teeth were pearls. His face was glorious. His nature was an ocean of mercy. Each moment he manifested hundreds and hundreds of ecstatic symptoms. How could he be peaceful? He wept, trembled, perspired, became pale. The hairs of his body stood erect. I do not know all the ecstatic symptoms he manifested. Sometimes his form bent in 3 places, and with his fingers he played the flute. His graceful motions defeated the graceful maddened elephants. He looked with graceful eyes. A very charming sacred thread graced his merciful chest. I think that thread was saintly Anantashesh himself, who assumed that form so he could touch the Lord. Nityananda, Chandra, and Gadadhar were splendid at his sides. The multitudes of dear devotees performed kirtan. Looking and looking at them, all the Lord smiled. Assuming the form of a sannyasi clothed only by the 4 directions, moment after moment Lord Shiva sang in the kirtan. In this way, going from town to town, Lord Chaitanya enjoyed his kirtan pastimes. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose garments, hair, and limbs Goddess Lakshmi yearns to touch, now sways to and fro and rolls on the ground in town after town. Thousands and millions of torches shone like the moon. How did all this happen? I do not know. In the whole world, Hari was the only sound. No other sound came from any mouth. Seeing these wonderful pastimes, everyone became blissful. O my brothers, looking at each other's faces, everyone called out, Hari Bol. Nityananda understood Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy. Whenever Lord Chaitanya was about to fall, Nityananda held out his arms and caught the Lord's body. One time, when Lord Nityananda caught him, Lord Chaitanya sat down in a virasana, yoga posture. Placing his hand on the left side of his abdomen, the Lord blissfully called out, Hari, Hari, and laughed. Another moment, Lord Chaitanya very sincerely said, I am Lord Narayan. After I killed the demon Kamsa, I became known as Kamsa's enemy. I became Vamana and cheated Bali. I built the bridge. I killed Ravana. I am Ramachandra, king of the Raghavas. Loudly declaring the truth about himself, the Lord looked in the 4 directions. Who can understand these truths, the inconceivable glory of the Lord? The next moment, Lord Chaitanya said something completely different, placing a blade of grass between his teeth and calling out, Who can understand these truths, the inconceivable glories of the Lord? The next moment, Lord Chaitanya said something completely different, placing a blade of grass between his teeth and calling out, Lord Master. Lord Chaitanya begged for the gift of devotional service. All of handsome and fair-limbed Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, like the pastime when he placed his toe in his mouth, charmed the heart. Lord Chaitanya, who is the king of Vaikuntha, danced in all of Navadvip. The town of Navadvip is identical with Svetadvip. In the future, the Vedas will reveal this truth. I do not know how many kartals, mridangas, and conch shells were sounded. A great sound of Hari was heard in the 4 directions. In the center of all this shone Lord Chaitanya, the king of the Brahmins. Glory, glory, glory to the kirtan in the town. Glory to Lord Chaitanya's dancing. Glory to Lord Chaitanya's servants. This song of 20 stanzas glorifies Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Wherever he looked, Lord Chaitanya saw everyone floating in ecstatic love. Vrndavana Das sings this song, glorifying Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. In this way, the Master of all the worlds joyfully performed kirtan in every town and village. The continual chanting of Lord Hari's names filled all the worlds, broke the boundary of the universe, and entered Vaikuntha. Then Lord Chaitanya, the king of Vaikuntha, joyfully jumped in the air. Defeating the maddened lion, the Lord made great waves, and everyone joyfully encircled him to watch. Dancing, Lord Chaitanya proceeded on the path that goes to the Ganga's shore in Nadia. Lord Chaitanya danced for a long time at his own bathing ghat. Then he went to Madai's ghat. Then he went to Varakona ghat and Nagariya ghat. He passed through town after town by the Ganga's bank until he came to Simulia. Thousands and millions of torches brightly burned in the 4 directions. Thousands and millions of people chanted Hari in the 4 directions. The moonlight was very wonderful to see. No one could tell whether it was day or night. At every doorway were beautiful and auspicious banana trees, full water pots, mangoes, and burning lamps. Standing in the sky, all the demigods from Svargaloka showered champaka and jasmine flowers. There was a shower of flowers. In the form of these flowers, the earth goddess of Navadvip extended her tongue. Aware that the Lord's lotus feet were very delicate and soft, the goddess extended her tongue in the form of these flowers. In front danced Srivas, Advaita, and Haridas. Behind them danced Lord Chaitanya, the creator of everything. When the Lord entered a town, people stopped their household duties and ran to him. Seeing the Lord's moonlight face, which is the life of all the worlds, everyone offered dandavata obeisances. Forgetting their husbands, children, homes, and wealth, the women made auspicious sounds and chanted Hari. In town after town, many millions and millions of townspeople became wild, intoxicated by drinking the nectar of love for Lord Krishna. Some danced, some sang, some called out Hari, some, forgetting who they were, rolled on the ground. Some used their mouths to play different musical instruments, and some happily climbed on others' shoulders. Some fell to the ground and grasped others' feet and wept. Some wrapped their hair around on others' feet. Some offered dandavata obeisances to others' feet. Some embraced others. Someone said, "I am Nimai Pandit. I've come to deliver the world." Someone else said, "I'm a Vaishnava in Svetadvip." Someone else said, "I'm the Lord's associate in Vaikuntha." Someone else said, "Where is the rascal Kazi? I will catch him today. I will cut his head into pieces." Some went to catch the blasphemers. Some said, "The sinners and blasphemers are fleeing. Catch them, catch them." Someone again and again climbed a tree and jumped to the ground. Angry with the blasphemers, some tore apart a wicker basket. Someone said, "I am time personified, standing before the blasphemers." Someone screamed unnaturally. Someone went to bind Yamaraj and bring him there. Someone said, "O Yamadutas, tell me, where is Yamaraj?" The king of Vaikuntha has descended to the world and come into Sachi's house. Going from town to town, he now performs kirtans of his own holy name. The power of his name made your Yamaraj into the king of religion. The power of his name delivered the fallen Brahmin Ajamil. The Supreme Lord now makes every mouth chant his holy name. They who have no power to chant can at least hear. If every living entity is thus delivered, I am not to be blamed if I at once stop Yamaraj's work. Quickly go and tell Chitragupta to throw away all the records of the sinner's sins. The power of the Supreme Lord's holy name made Varanasi into the king of holy places. The liberated residents of Svetadvip always chant the Lord's holy names. It's the power of the Supreme Lord's holy name that made the demigod Shiva worshipped by all. Now the whole world has Now the whole world has heard the chanting of the Lord's name. Renounce all sins and chant the Lord's holy name. Worship Lord Chaitanya, then I will not kill you. Another person called in all the directions, catch him, where is that Kazi? He has cheated us and fled. Where are the blasphemers, the sinners who do not like the chanting of Lord Krishna's names? Beating the ground with his fist, someone called out, blasphemers. Walking from place to place, someone loudly called, Hari. In this way everyone spoke and acted as if intoxicated with love for Lord Krishna. They did not remember who they were. Seeing the townspeople wild with ecstatic love, the blasphemers burned with anger. Meeting together, the blasphemers decided, when the Kazi comes, we'll see what happens to this happy festival. What will happen to their loud calling out? What will happen to their singing and dancing? What will happen to their big parade? What will happen to their banana trees, water pots, and mangoes? Then all their words will be washed away. When the Kazi comes, see all the burning lamps, sees all the circles of devotees, hears the great tumult, and we'll see all these devotees jump into the Ganga. Someone said, I will stay here. I'll tie the necks of the fleeing townspeople. Someone else said, I will go and tell the Kazi. Someone else said, that's not a good idea. Someone else said, my brother, there's only one action we should take. We should approach the devotees and tell them, the Kazi's coming. When they have weighed the importance of these words, not a single person will stay in that place. As the blasphemers chewed all these thoughts, Lord Chaitanya's associates, now wild with ecstasy, chanted the holy names of Hari. Everyone's limbs were splendid with sandalwood paste and flower garlands. Everyone blissfully chanted Krishna. The town named Samulia was in an isolated part of Nadia. Dancing and dancing, Lord Chaitanya proceeded toward it. Hearing Lord Hari's name come from numberless millions of mouths, Lord Chaitanya, the jewel of the Brahmins, roared and danced. How many tears flowed from the Lord's lotus eyes? How many streams of tears flowed over the body's pure and splendid limbs? Trembling, Lord Chaitanya jumped up into the sky and fell back again. Lord Nityananda wept. He could not hold the Lord still. At the end, Lord Chaitanya fainted in ecstasy. His body showed no sign of life, and everyone was frightened. Seeing these wonders, everyone said, this person must be Lord Narayan. Someone said, he's like Narada, Prahlad, Sukadev. Someone else said, he may be whoever he is, but he's not a human being. In this way, everyone spoke according to his own realization. A great philosopher said, he's the best of the Vaishnavas. Tasting the nectar of great devotion, the Lord was not in external consciousness. Raising his arms, he called out, Haribol, Haribol. Hearing these words from the Lord's graceful mouth, everyone at once shouted, Hari, Hari. Wherever Lord Chaitanya went as he danced, everyone followed. The Lord had taken the path that led to the Kazi's house. Then the Kazi heard the tumultuous music of the kirtan. The Kazi said, listen, O my brothers, what is that singing and music? Is it a marriage procession? Is it songs for worshipping ghosts? Who, jumping over my order, is performing Hindu rituals? Quickly go and find out, then I will go myself. On the Kazi's order, a servant ran there. Seeing the great multitude, he recited some verses from his scripture. Then numberless millions of people shouted, Death to the Kazi! At this, the Kazi's servant fled. He quickly returned and told the Kazi what What can you do? Quickly go, flee. Nimayacharya is with millions and millions of people. How can you punish him? There are thousands and millions of burning torches. Thousands and millions of people are performing this Hindu ritual. At every door are banana trees, water pots, and mangoes. I saw that all the roads in Nadia are strewn with flowers. I do not know how many coins, flowers, grains of puffed rice are scattered about. When I hear the loud music, I feel my ears are being pulled out by their roots. Even when the king comes, no one acts like this in the towns of Nadia. Nimai Pandit is the leader of these devotees. Wherever he goes, he dances, and the others follow. The townspeople we attacked are there. They all shouted, 'Kill the Kazi.' Nimai Acharya shouted very loudly, 'He is a Hindu saint, and this is how he acts.' Then someone said, 'Why does this Brahmin weep?' Streams of tears flowed from the Brahmin's eyes. Someone else said, 'Where is this Brahmin at? I think he always weeps because he's unhappy.' Someone else said, 'I'm afraid to look at this Brahmin, thinking he will devour me. I tremble.' Then the Qazi said, 'I think he's going to a wedding. If not, then he is performing a Hindu ritual. If that is so, then today I will take away the caste of the whole town.' In this way, the Kasi reasoned to everyone. Then, in a great tumult of music, Lord Chaitanya, the crest jewel of all people, had come dancing to the Qazi's town. The great tumult of millions and millions of people chanting the names of Lord Hari filled Svarga, Marcha, and Patala, and other worlds. Hearing that sound, the Qazi and his men trembled and fled, like frogs frightened by a snake. They fled the Hindus. Lord Chaitanya's followers filled every place. The Qazi's frightened men did not know where to flee. Some loosened their turbans and danced unnoticed. In their hearts they trembled. They who had beards lowered their heads, shy so they could not lift their heads. Their hearts trembled in fear. Their hearts trembled in fear. The numberless millions of people did not notice them. The people were not even aware of their own bodies. Everyone danced, everyone joyfully sang. Filling the universe, everyone called out Hari. Coming to the Qazi's door, Lord Chaitanya roared with anger. The Lord angrily said, "Where is the demon Qazi? I will catch him and sever his head. Today I'll make the whole world a place where no Muslims live. As I did before, I will now kill all the Yavanas. Where will the Qazi go to save his life? Break the doors and the house, break them." Again and again the Lord spoke these words. Lord Chaitanya is the super soul in the hearts of all beings. Who can jump over his order? The people had become wild by tasting the nectar of love for Lord Chaitanya. On the Lord's order, they began to enter the house. Some broke the door, some began breaking the house, some kicked, some roared. Some people threw around branches of mango and jackfruit. Some broke the grove of banana trees and cried out, "Hari!" Thousands and thousands entered the flower gardens, pulling up the flowers and threw them about, roared. Again and again they broke the flowers and branches, chanting Hari. They danced, then placing the Lord's name in every ear. Not a single petal or leaf remained in the garden. Nothing at all remained intact in the Qazi's house. After breaking everything, everyone left the house. Then the Lord said, "Set the house on fire. Everyone start a fire. Set the four walls of this house on fire. I will see how this king will punish me. Today I will see what these people do to escape." Yamaraj, time personified and death personified, are all the servants of my servants. All existence has come from my glance. I descended to this world to start the Sankirtan movement. I will kill anyone who tries to stop the Sankirtan movement. If a sinner joins the Sankirtan movement, I will certainly remember him. If ascetics, sannyasis, philosophers, yogis, or anyone else will not join the Sankirtan movement, I will kill them. Set the house on fire. Don't fear. Today I will kill the Muslims. Seeing the Lord's anger, the devotees wrapped their shawls around their necks and fell to the ground. Extending their arms, the devotees grasped the Lord's feet and prayed, "Lord Shankarshan, your first expansion never becomes angry at the wrong time. Only when it is time to destroy the material creation does Lord Shankarshan angrily appear as Rudra. This Rudra destroys the entire creation in a moment. Then, at the end, he enters your body. Therefore, it is an expansion of your expansion that angrily destroys everything. Who has the power to stop you when you become angry? O Lord, you are full of bliss. You never become angry. This the Vedas sing. O Lord, it is not right that you refute the Vedas' words. You do not become angry at Brahma and the other living entities. For you, the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the material worlds are all your pastimes. Today you have given enough punishment to this Kasi. If he again acts against you, then you can take away his life. Then they said, Glory to Vishwambara, the great King Vishwambara. Glory to the fair and handsome master of all the worlds. Glory, glory to he who reclines on Ananta, to he who is the husband of the goddess Lakshmi. Raising their arms, the great devotees chanted these prayers. Lord Chaitanya smiled at his servant's words, saying, Hari. He began to taste the nectar of dancing. The Lord punished the Kazi in this way. Then dancing and tasting the nectar of Sankirtan with his associates, Lord Chaitanya, who is the king of all the worlds, departed. Playing mridangas, kartals, and conch shells, and clapping their hands, the devotees sang, Jai Ram, Krishna, Govinda, Gopal. After destroying the Kazi's house, the townspeople, joyfully singing Hari and dancing, departed. The blasphemers' hearts were broken. The blasphemers were morose, and the devotees were joyful. Clapping their hands, the townspeople sang, Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Varnamali. In every town there was a great tumult of Jai. Everyone swam in an ocean of bliss. Who danced there? Who sang? Who played musical instruments? Who went there? I don't know. Dancing, the devotees went ahead, and Lord Chaitanya followed them. Brahma, Shiva, and Ananta Shesh sang as Lord Chaitanya, the crest jewel of Vaishnavas, danced. In your heart, please do not doubt any of this story. Then Lord Chaitanya will give you his mercy. Then, accompanied by numberless millions of people, Lord Chaitanya entered a village of conch shell merchants. Great bliss arose in the village of conch shell merchants. Chanting Hari, the people sounded mridrangas, bells, and conch shells. Dancing, Lord Chaitanya proceeded down the flower-strewn path. The very beautiful torches glistened in the four directions. How can I describe the beauty of the moon that night when fair-limbed Lord Hari performed kirtan? At every door were banana trees, mangoes, and full water pots. Chanting Hari, the women made a tumult of glorious sounds. Every town and village was splendid and beautiful. Then Lord Chaitanya entered the village of weavers. A great tumult of Jai and of mridanga music arose. The weavers were wild with bliss, clapping their hands and singing, Hari Bol, Mukunda, Gopal, Vanamali. The townspeople danced. Hearing the name Hari come from every mouth, Lord Chaitanya smiled. Dancing, Lord Chaitanya proceeded to Sridhar's home. Lord Chaitanya went to Sridhar's home, which was a single broken-down room. A single iron cup rested at Sridhar's doorway, a cup patched in many places, a cup even a thief would not take. Lord Chaitanya danced in Sridhar's courtyard. Then he saw Sridhar's cup, knowing his devotees' pure love. Lord Chaitanya at once picked up that iron cup. Lord Chaitanya happily drank the water in that cup. Who had the power to say to him, don't do it? Now I am dead, Sridhar screamed. You came to my house only to kill me. Saying these words, saintly Sridhar fainted. Then Lord Ananta said, now my body has become sanctified. Now that I have... Lord Chaitanya said, now my body has become sanctified. Now that I have drunk Sridhar's water, I have finally attained devotion to Lord Krishna's feet. Now I possess true devotion to Lord Vishnu. Again and again saying these words, the Lord shed streams of tears from his eyes. In this way, Lord Chaitanya taught everyone, by drinking water from a Vaishnava, one attains devotion to Lord Vishnu. In the Padma Purana, it is said, to become purified of all sins, a wise man will beg food from a Vaishnava. In the absence of food, he may drink water offered by a Vaishnava. Seeing how the Lord loves his devotee, the devotees wept with joy. Nityananda and Gadadhar wept and fell to the ground. Advaita and Srivas fell to the ground and wept. Haridas, Gangadas, Vikeshwar, Murari, Mukunda, and Chandrasekhar wept. Govinda, Govindananda, Sri Garba, Sriman, Kashishvar, Jagadananda, and Ramai wept. Jagadish, Gopinath, Nandana, Suklambar, and Garuda, and everyone else all wept, placing their hands on their heads. Thousands and millions of people wept, saying, Lord Krishna, the master of they who have no other master, is my master. Why did Lord Chaitanya display this pure love and devotion at Sridhar's house? I have not the power to say. Calling out Krishna, the whole world wept. His desire now fulfilled, Lord Chaitanya smiled. Oh, my brothers, just see the glory of Lord's devotees. For his devotees, the Lord feels the highest love. Lord Chaitanya very respectfully drank the water in the iron cup, because with the highest motive the Lord desired to drink it. The devotee's water became sweet like nectar. To teach the truth about devotional service, the Lord drank water from that cup. Everything that belongs to a Vaishnava is pure and spiritual. To drink from it, the Lord will not cast his glance on a splendid jeweled water cup of a proud person. With great love he at once eats whatever his servant offers. He has no desire to wait until all the rituals of offering are performed. If the devotee has very little food and therefore does not offer it, the Lord eats it by force. The Brahmin's broken rice at Dwarka bears witness to this. The Lord also eats the remnants of his servant's meal. The vegetables of Yudhishthira when he lived in the forest bear witness to that truth. Lord Krishna's servant is Lord Krishna's father, mother, wife, and brother. Lord Krishna does not consider his servants at all different from his own self. As the servant meditates on the Lord, so the Lord manifests a form. He gives his servants the power to sell him to others. The Supreme Personality of Godhead loves his servants, so the Vedas sing, Lord Krishna always appears before his devotees. Filling your eyes, please gaze at the power of the Lord's servants. Out of love, Lord Krishna becomes the servant of his servants. Please don't use the word small with the word servant of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna never uses the word small or great to describe his servants. A person who for millions of births performs his prescribed religious duties, is nonviolent and honest, does all his work, and day and night prays to become a servant of the Lord, at the time of death chants Narayan. Then he becomes liberated, his material bondage completely destroyed. After he's liberated in this way, he becomes a true servant of Lord Krishna. All the true commentators of Scripture give this explanation. After he attains liberation, a soul attains a body suitable for joining Lord Krishna's pastimes. In that body, the soul worships and serves Lord Krishna directly. The all-knowing commentator, Srila Sridhar Swami, explains in his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. The liberated souls accept forms suitable for joining the Lord's pastimes. Then they worship and serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the devotees are equal. Indeed, the Supreme Lord thinks that he is defeated by his devotee. All the garlands of prayers that exist in the numberless universes are not enough to properly glorify the Lord's devotees. Brahma and Shiva happily call themselves servant of the Lord. Anantashesh, who holds up all the worlds, yearns for the qualification to serve the Lord. Although they are naturally equal to the Lord, the devotees love the Lord dearly. Because of their past sinful deeds, the sinners are unhappy when someone happily calls Advaitacharya a devotee of the Lord. Lord Krishna himself is happy to be called a devotee. But who but Lord Krishna himself knows the devotee's true nature? Only to fill their bellies do the sinners declare, I am the Supreme Lord himself. At the root of these people are worthless like old tired oxen. Their disciples are like donkeys and jackals. Some of them declare, now I have become Lord Ramachandra. Bewildered by Lord Vishnu's Maya, they declare, I am the Supreme Lord, even though the truth is that their bodies are fit to be eaten by dogs. Lord Chaitanya is the master of all, Filling your eyes, please gaze at his powers. By his will, millions and millions of powers and glories and opulences are at once manifest. How many millions of torches burned with great brilliance because of his will? By whose power were banana trees suddenly planted beside every door? By whose power were great singing and instrumental music suddenly manifest? By whose power did flowers rain from the sky? I do not understand the great love the Lord displayed by drinking water from Sridhar's cup. Seeing the Lord's love for his devotees, the three worlds wept. Some people fell to the ground and their hair did not stay neatly tied. Sridhar wept. Placing a blade of grass between his teeth, he loudly called out, "Hari," as tears flowed from his eyes. Why did the king of the three worlds drink this water? Sridhar asked. Sridhar danced, wept, and called out, "Hai, hai." Lord Chaitanya drank his devotees' water. The king of Vaikuntha danced in Sridhar's courtyard. Tasting the sweet nectar of devotion, the dear devotees surrounded him in the four directions and sang. Nityananda and Gadadhar were splendid at his two sides. Please gaze on the ultimate in good fortune attained by the banana leaf seller Sridhar, a servant of the Lord. Gazing on Sridhar's glories, Brahma and Shiva weep. By wealth, followers, and learning, one does not attain Lord Krishna. Only by pure devotional service does one bring Lord Chaitanya under one's control. After giving mercy to Sridhar by drinking his water, Lord Chaitanya again entered the town. As loud sounds of Hari were heard in the four directions, Lord Chaitanya, the master of all the mellows of devotional service, danced. The splendor and beauty of Navadvip defeats the splendor and beauty of all the worlds. In Navadvip, the word Hari is heard from every tongue. The same spiritual bliss tasted by Sukadev, Narada, and Shiva made all the towns of Nadia wild with joy. The king of the three worlds danced in every part of Navadvip. He went to Gadigach and Pardanga and Majida. Please do not think all this happened in a single night. Many kalpas passed during that night of the Lord's kirtan. Nothing is impossible for Lord Chaitanya. By moving his eyebrows, he destroys the universes. A very fortunate person can understand this truth. A sinful, dry magician cannot understand it at all. In whatever town the king of Vaikuntha danced, everyone swam in an ocean of bliss. Seeing the shouts, the tumult, and the streams of tears, the men and women in Nadia wept. Someone said, "I offer my respectful obeisances to the feet of Sachi, from whose womb this great person was born." Someone else said, "Jagannath Misra was a great saint." Someone else said, "The good fortune of Nadia has no end." Lord Chaitanya enjoyed pastimes in this way for many kalpas. Everyone said, "From this night the sun will not rise. From this night the sun will not rise." Everyone called out, "Jai." No sound but Hari was spoken by anyone. Seeing Lord Chaitanya, everyone offered dandavat obeisances. The men, women, and children all fell to the ground. Casting a merciful glance on everyone, Lord Chaitanya continued his blissful pastimes. These pastimes never come to an end. The Vedas say only that sometimes they can be seen, and sometimes they cannot be seen by ordinary people. The Lord appears before the devotees in whatever form they meditate on him, and this is described in the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. O my Lord, you are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. Even at this very moment, Lord Chaitanya enjoys all these pastimes. They who are fortunate see these pastimes eternally. Every time he descends to this world, the Supreme Lord takes his liberated devotees with him. Only devotees and no one else can understand the Lord's activities. If, passing many millions of births in yoga, yagnas, and austerities, a person does not perform devotional service, he will not obtain any good result from his endeavors. A person who does not serve the devotees will not attain devotional service. Therefore, all the scriptures say that one should serve the devotees. Glory, glory to Lord Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy Lord Chaitanya manifested the Sankirtan movement. Someone said, Nityananda is the same person as Balaram. Someone else said, he is most dear to Lord Chaitanya. Someone else said, he's very powerful expansion of the Lord. And someone else said, I do not have the power to understand who he is. The people may say that Nityananda is an individual soul, or he is a devotee or a philosopher. Why should the people not say whatever they like about Lord Nityananda? Why should Nityananda not be thought of as a devotee of Lord Chaitanya? Lord Nityananda's feet are the great treasure I keep in my heart. I kick the heads of the sinners who mock and blaspheme Lord Nityananda. I offer my respectful obeisances to the feet of Lord Chaitanya's dear devotees. May Lord Nityananda and the moon of Avadutas be my master. By Lord Chaitanya's mercy, I know the truth of Lord Nityananda. Because Lord Nityananda teaches me, I know the truth of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are my Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, and Lord Nityananda is Shankarshan. Lord Nityananda is devotion to Lord Chaitanya personified. He has all the powers of the Lord. The exalted servants of Lord Chaitanya can understand the narrations of Lord Nityananda, Srimad Bhagavatam pastimes. If you see the devotees quarreling among themselves, please know that this is all Lord Krishna's pastimes. Please do not understand it in any other way. If a person takes the side of one Vaishnava in this quarrel and blasphemes another Vaishnava, the blasphemer will perish. A person who worships Lord Krishna in all respects and does not blaspheme others will be counted among the Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances to the feet of Lord Advaita. May I think of him with love. Glory, glory to Lord Chaitanya and all his associates. Anyone who hears Madhya-Khanda will attain devotional service. Anyone who in quarrel takes Advaita's side and criticizes Gadadhar is a sinner. He's not a true servant of Lord Advaita. May the sweet nectar of these descriptions of the Lord nourish the thoughts of all spirit souls. Anyone who enjoys hearing these descriptions of Lord Chaitanya will sometime gaze on Lord Chaitanya's face. That's inevitable. The two moons, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda, my life and soul. I, Vrndavana Das, sing the glories of their feet.